My association with Heidelberg began in the winter of 1970-71, when myself and a group of friends drove overland from Manchester in England to sell encyclopedias to the American servicemen in Germany. We had all responded to the same advertisement placed by a company based in Aschaffenburg. We were well travelled by the time we arrived in Heidelberg, a famous tourist destination, where I decided my association with encyclopedias was over, and anyway the car had met with an unfortunate accident. The journey around Germany took us to places like Worms and Fulda, and to the remote mined border between East and West Germany. The winter weather took its toll, and my friends wanted to go back to England. I decided to stay and obtained a position as a waiter at the Park Hotel Harlas. And anyway, the car needed repairing. Little did I know at the time this was the start of a 50-year association with Heidelberg. The old luggage label, together with the old black and white postcard photographs and my Cine film that I took when I worked there, shows the hotel's unique and attractive position on the banks of the River Neckar. It was a popular place for coach operators to bring tourists on world trips to stay overnight. The hotel had views of the old town along the river, and the function room provided breakfasts and evening meals for up to 3 coaches, about 170 people at one sitting. According to the story, there was a barber's shop at the site of the Hotel Harlas. Monks had their hair clipped or shaved there before they entered the monastery as monks. According to an internet search, Cantori writes, as a little boy I lived at Schleierbach, on the other side of the Neckar. I attended elementary school between 1948 and 1953. A priest from the Benedictine Abbey, Stift Neuburg, gave us religious instruction. Indeed, he told us about the monk's connection to the barber's shop at Harlas. The map shows the location of the barber's shop to Abbey Neuburg, across the Neckar from Schleierbach. Neuburg Abbey is a working Benedictine monastery, was established in the 12th century and offers tours and spiritual retreats. The former hotel in Heidelberg where I worked in 1971 and is now the headquarters of the company SAS for Germany. It's difficult for me to determine when some of this video was taken because very little has changed, particularly with regards to the castle views. Apart from the time in 1971 when I worked in Heidelberg, I revisited in 1973, having hitchhiked this time from Manchester. In the old town of Heidelberg are a couple of famous student bars, here visible behind the trams. Zeppel and the Roten Oxen, where I used to frequent regularly back in 1971, and I was back in there only a couple of years ago. Nothing has really changed, inside or outside. The decor remains the same, with lots of old photographs adorning the walls, and the old graffiti carved tables remain. The piano player has got a little older, still playing the same keys, but probably in a different order. Many years later, about 2012, I returned back to Zeppel for a beer. I was in Heidelberg on the way back from a wedding in Germany to the son of friends of mine that I had first met back at the Hotel Harlas in 1971. This time I stopped at the Hotel Adler on the banks of the Neckar and only a couple of kilometres from Harlas. Nothing much has changed over the last 50 years, standing here by the side of the Neckar, watching the tourist boats and working barges earning a living in the same way. The amphitheatre in Heidelberg was constructed in the period 1933 to 1934 and officially opened in June 1935 by the Minister of Propaganda, Joseph Goebbels. It could hold about 20,000 visitors. Back in 1971 there were several English people working at the Harlas Hotel, and after we had served breakfast we would walk along the banks of the Neckar and spend the summer afternoons in the open air swimming baths before making the return walk to work in the evenings for the evening meals. The German War Cemetery is situated high above the old town, about 3.5 kilometres from the amphitheatre. It contains the burials of 1,039 German soldiers and 177 foreign war dead from the Second World War.